Hey guys, this is Elliot from Real Pump People here, and today we are with Buzzo from the Melvins, and we're going to be doing a rigged rundown. This is our third time interviewing him. You ready?
3. Is it been 3?
Yeah.
You're almost as tall as I am now. Amazing. You're going to be a lot taller. I'm short.
Yeah, I'm almost as tall as my mom now. Let's do this.
But don't feel too good about it because I'm a very short person. I look bigger on stage. That's why. That's part of the fun.
Yeah. Got these awesome guitars.
Yeah, how do you like it? So these are Travis Bean guitars made by a guy in Florida named Kevin Burkett. And he hollows, they're hollow aluminum, and the top of them are wood. So the neck and the body are all one big piece. So he runs a bit over the whole thing. He says by the time he gets done hollowing it all out, the bit has run 40 miles to make one guitar.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Here. It's heavy. Ugh. It's heavier than your SG.
It is definitely heavier than an SG.
You'll grow into it. And it has a wooden fretboard on it, on the aluminum. And then I have 2 of these. I'm gonna play a red one tonight. And then I also have this one.
Whoa!
This was all aluminum.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's a 2 pieces of aluminum with a neck that runs all the way down to here. And then the wings, the body wings are just screwed onto it with screws through the back. See?
Yeah.
The whole thing. They sound really fierce. Very fierce guitar. I have a Les Paul pickup here and a low output pickup here on all of them. They all have Les Paul pickups in the bridge position.
So you just bought them and put them in?
No, he put them in for me. The guy does, and then he set them up like Les Pauls. I have my switch sideways, and because I use my switch all the time when I'm playing live. So.
And then the metal fingerboard?
The whole thing is aluminum, and the frets, as you can see, are just put right into the neck. They're not put into a fretboard. Most guitars have the fretboard separate, like that one. The other one has a fretboard that's separate.
Yeah.
And so these are just put right straight into the aluminum.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. They're really weird. This one's not quite as heavy, but you get the message.
Yeah.
Tonight I'm going to be using, I alternate the guitars. So tonight I'm using this red one. It's the same thing, except I accidentally knocked my sweat knocked the pick guard off of it. So,
and knocked the whole pick guard off?
Yeah, I knocked it off. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Was it during live?
No, I think it fell off. But then I got it at home, but I haven't put it on yet. I got to screw it on, so it doesn't really mess up the playing. And then my rig itself over here, what I'm using is, since on this tour we're doing 2 bass players. So one bass rig's over here. These are cabinets built by a guy named Sean Patton in Austin, Texas. He built those 2 bass cabinets. That's for Jeff Pincus to play through. And then I have a cabinet that the same guy built here that has 2 10-inch speakers and a 15-inch speaker in it. And then on the other side, I split the cabinet over to here. That has one 12-inch speaker and a 15 at the bottom. And then the other bass player's over there. So I'm actually running through a rig that is on both sides of the drum set. So. And it's all controlled by this. This is a Hilbish design preamp that this guy Hilbish builds in Virginia, and they're similar to a Sun Beta Lead preamp from the 70s. And I really like the idea that I'm using gear that was made by guys that I talk to. Like I call them up and I talk to the guy that's actually going to be building the guitar, who's actually building the preamp, who's actually building the guitar cabinets. And so these are odd guitar cabinets. There's really nobody that's using, you're not going to find Marshall or something like that to build you a cabinet that has 2 10-inch speakers and one 15 in one cabinet, and then one cabinet that has one 12 and one 15. So I'm really like the idea that the guy is willing to do customized stuff. Yeah. Anything I can dream up, he'll do it. Like the guy that built these guitars. Normally these guitars have the switch down here, but since I play them like Les Pauls and I wanted to play them live, he moved it up to the top for me. So I wouldn't be able to call up Fender or Gibson and they wouldn't do it. There's no way, So I'll give you a show of how this thing works. I'm running an all solid state system. So I have a power amp. The signal comes out of the preamp, gets split to the stereo power amp, and each side runs one cabinet. And there's no tubes whatsoever in this thing. So when you turn up one, that turns on the one over there. and then this one, then this. So each cabinet has its own volume control.
Should I take off my jacket?
No, it's all right. It's metal. What are you going to do to it? It's not like you're going to harm it. That's how Johnny Ramone played.
I cannot play this song.
See, it's great because see your arm's now not bent. Instead of like this, you have now you're hanging it all the way to the bottom. It's better.
You would have to do like.
Just get used to it. Yeah, see?
Yeah, like just straight.
Those guitars play great, don't they?
Yeah, this sounds awesome.
They sound great, and that's a 2 10s and a 15.
Yeah.
I think 15-inch speakers are really underrated for guitar playing.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of solid state amps too are getting better these days too. Sound more warm.
Maybe, who knows? It depends on where you're playing. You know?
Yeah, I have a orange amp,
Oh, yeah,
solid
those are
state,
good.
and it's really good.
We have a solid state orange bass backup amp, so we have it. And then on my pedal board, I'm running through a tuner. So I have a tuner to begin with, and then it goes into a distortion box that the same guy who built the Hillbish amp built those distortion boxes for us, and they're brand new. And it's called the Pessimizer. And it's what's cool about the distortion box, it's for bass or guitar, and it has a 3-band EQ on it. So you got bass, middle, and treble, which almost no distortion box has. So that's cool. And they're built like tanks. They're really solid. They don't look like they came out of somebody's bedroom. You know, they don't look like bad erector set stuff. You know? And then after that, I'm running a compressor, a small MXR compressor, which I think I'm going to do. The Hillbish guy, he's going to build me a compressor as well, and hopefully at one point somewhere in the future, it'll all except the tuner will all be Hillbish stuff. So, and then as you can see, oh not Jeff, but Steven, one of our bass players, is also using the bass distortion box over there too. Bass guitar distortion. And then my wife did the graphic design on it, so it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I love the Boss pedals. I think Boss pedals are really great, but I think they look like crap. You know?
They look too simple.
Yeah, I mean maybe they build them for dummies, you know, which is, you know, I'm one of those, you know. But I love Boss pedals. I think they're great. And one great thing about playing those on the road is that you can find them almost anywhere. So if something happens, you can just buy them at almost any store anywhere. And they're actually really good pedals. And then next set I'm using a Pitchfork, Electro Harmonics Pitchfork. It's for a weird effect. And then at the end of the chain, I'm running a digital delay. So that's my whole rig. It's relatively simple. I don't use a lot of effects really here and there. The compressor a little bit, but that's hard to tell when I have it on or not. It's more of a performance thing. Like play, if you hit the compressor, you gotta turn this. Hit the compressor, it kind of gives it a little bit of edge, tiny bit. And then this, that changes it a little bit. See?
Yeah.
Tiny bit. It's weird. And then when the delay is not much of a delay, a little bit. Barely, you know?
Yeah.
I don't really want too much. A place like this, you don't really need much delay. I just use it a little bit here and there.
Kind of reminds me of like a chorus type of pedal.
Similar, yeah. And I put my pedals all back. Oddly, I run all my pedals at the back, not at the front. Because I don't want them in front of me. I don't like it.
Like you trip over them or
Exact
something.
opposite of everybody else. So my rig is very strange, and the guitars are strange, and I like that.
Guitars are awesome.
I like the idea that when I walk out on stage, I'm using gear that not everybody else is using.
Yeah, it's like limited.
Yeah, I like to think that makes it to where maybe I can do something somebody else can't. That's it.
Yeah.
In Nashville once, 20 years ago, maybe more. I was playing. It was really blazing hot, and I got to just 20 minutes into our set. It was really hot in this place. And the last thing I remember is walking up to the microphone, starting to sing, and then the next thing I knew, I woke up outside. I'd completely passed out. Dead, you know. It was really weird. And yeah,
They just decided to throw you outside?
they just carried me outside because it was so hot, you know. They didn't know what else to do, and that was the end of the show. You know, I was completely spaced out, and so once I started using the fans and circulating some air, that kind of helps. You know, I think it's a good thing. You know? I don't want to pass out. I don't know how many brain cells that kills. You know, probably a lot. You know? I don't need any help in that department. You know? I've only got one brain. I don't want to lose any more of it. You know?
Awesome.
All aluminum flying V bass. Weird, crazy.
That looks like it could be like a really good zombie.
Yeah,
weapon.
absolutely. He's got 2 of those, which is good. And then Steven's playing the Warlock and the Gibson. So we each get, there's space for each of us to have 2 guitars in.
Nice.
But I have a 3rd one, but I'm not using that one tonight.
Is that the blue one?
That's all aluminum. I'll use that one tomorrow night.